Ladies and gentlemen, what you gonna do, brother? Oh yeah! Woo! What? What? If you smell what the rock.
You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
Welcome to another edition of Around the Turnbuckle. My name's the Big Albowski. His name right there is Professor Keith. And we are joined today by Greg, the mechanic manual. What's up, my man?
What's up? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Our pleasure. We have seen you wrestle live. Keith and I have. We love what we see. I love all the guys that we're meeting on this journey that we're taking. We've now been doing this for about a year, which I heard pre-show you're about in the same area, so it's kind of cool. And we're meeting a lot of local talent. We're meeting a lot of guys who are trying to break into business, guys who've been doing it for a few months, guys who've been doing it for a few years, guys who've been doing it for 20 years. So it's really cool to meet different guys on different levels. So once upon a time, Greg, the mechanic manual, was a wrestling fan right before you got into the business. So tell us about that. What inspired you? What got you into professional wrestling in the first place?
So I've been going to like live shows since I was about 3, I would say. Because SWO, Susquehanna Wrestling Organization, they came around to Columbia, and that's where I was from. And they would do the fire hall shows, and my dad would take me and my brother, would go. And I think I was around 5, and I saw someone do a standing shooting star press. But the ceilings were so low in that building, you couldn't go off the top, or even it was hard to go off the middle. So he did a standing shooting star press, and I looked to my dad and I said, you know, when I get older, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be a wrestler. And I started watching, you know, when I was watching SmackDown, I'd see Rey Mysterio on there, and he won the World Heavyweight Championship. And I was like, well, if someone that size could do it, then no matter how big I get, I could do it.
It's inspiring. So where did you look up places to go train? Because that's always interesting to me, how guys get into it in the first place. Do you just kind of go online and say, hey, where can I go train? Or did you look locally first? Or what did you do?
So when I moved to York, there was a couple years I didn't go to any shows because I didn't know anything around York. So then one day I was like, you know, might as well chase a dream I had. Looked up online wrestling schools. The closest one I found was somewhere in Maryland. And I was like, you know, that's an hour away. I could do it. And then I went to an SWO show and got a hold of Wolfman. And I said, what do I have to do to be able to get in the business, to be a wrestler? And, you know, he told me, you know, come see me Tuesdays, Thursdays. And after I went the first Tuesday, we trained, and I got roped in ever since then and fell in love with the business. And started training down there with Wolfman and SWO.
And you still wrestle for SWO, but you also have wrestled for WWWA. Have you wrestled for anybody else besides those two organizations?
Not those two yet.
Just those two? All right, so you got an SWO show coming up on, you said June 19th, which is next Saturday, right?
Yep.
And what's going on there? Where is it? If people locally in PA here could go check it out, how can they go check it out?
So it's at Seven Valleys Fire Company, which is in York. And I believe the bell time is 7, and the doors open at 6.
Okay.
And,
do you know who you're wrestling yet? Or
I'm wrestling,
when you get there, you're gonna find out what?
Now I'm wrestling Kid Magic. We were just in a tag team last month with Wolfman and Simon Rhyme against the Syndicate, and we came out on top on that one to help Americ Miami. You know, he turned on the Syndicate, realized that's not who he wanted to be with, and
right,
help us get the upper hand.
We can only
Right.
hope he'll one day see the light in WWA as well.
So you mentioned Rey Mysterio as a inspiration. Were there other pro wrestlers that inspired you?
He was the main one because I was always small for my size. Like, growing up, I was always a small one. People were bigger than me, and when I would watch TV and I saw Rey Mysterio, I see how all these guys are bigger than him. Even when he was teaming with Batista, he was the small one. Then when they were feuding, he could still win. And when I saw him win the heavyweight championship, big gold, the one they should bring back.
Yeah.
Right. The big WCW old style gold belt. Yeah.
NWA, technically.
The NWA world title. Right.
Yeah.
But when I saw him win that, I was like, just because I'm a smaller guy doesn't mean I can't, chase a dream. So my whole life, I wanted to be a pro wrestler. Me and my brother, we'd mess around in the backyard. We used to videotape, our matches in the backyard when we were like 5 and he was 11.
You got some of that footage?
It's probably somewhere in my mom's house.
Moms keep everything. I'm sure it's still there.
I'm just saying, if you ever get signed by anybody and they do a thing on, where did Greg the Mechanic Manual come from? You have it. Well, this is where he got his start. It's like that Mick Foley video with him jumping off the roof and stuff like, you know what I mean?
We ain't doing nothing like that.
I would hope not at 5.
Oh.
So why the Mechanic?
I mean, that's all I know. I mean, I've been turning wrenches in real life. My pap was a diesel mechanic, and then I used to have 4-wheelers and stuff that, I'd be hard on and break, and I'd have to fix it. And 4-wheelers then turned into cars and trucks, and I'd be hard on them, and they'd break, and I had to fix it. And I was like, well, my pap was a mechanic. Both my great uncles, they're mechanics. It's kind of running in the blood.
When you call yourself the mechanic in a wrestling ring, though, that takes on a whole new meaning now.
Yeah, so there's multiple meanings in the ring, too, for mechanic. There's technician. There's precise. When people think of mechanic, too, their first thought is like a greasy, grungy guy. Maybe try to cheat you out of some money or whatever. But, like, the way I look at it is I'm the mechanic you want, I'm the nice, down-to-earth guy. I'm going to be honest with you. I ain't going to cheat you out of money. I don't cheat to win. If I lose, I suck it up and I come back next month even harder.
So Greg the Mechanic Manual's a baby face for the most part.
Yep.
All right. Speaking of heels, there's a guy here named Merrick Miami who's chiming in and says, SWO has different vibes, gentlemen. As for Triple WA, I'm Triple WA.
Well,
I can't argue with that one. I mean, he holds the belt right now, and he got the better of me. When we faced last month.
Yeah, it was a great match. We were there.
Yeah, everything I've seen of you, I've been impressed, and I want to say this, but I don't want to say it the wrong way. Like, I can definitely see where you're still kind of putting everything together. I can sort of see the wheels turning as you're in there. Everything looks good. I'm not saying it doesn't look good. It looks very good. But I can see where you're still sort of building the mechanic and building who the mechanic is and all of that. And I think that's really fun as a fan to watch somebody that's at that point in their career and watch them put it together, because once, it all just kind of clicks and you get that moment, that's so special.
And not even just building the character, the mechanic, but also, like me as a wrestler himself. Like, a lot of guys, when they're out there going at it, they don't got to think twice about what they're going to do. They know, I just hit this. Okay, well, if he gets up from this, I'm coming in here. Whereas me, I've wrestled a lot of these guys. A lot of them, when I faced them, is the first time. So I don't know any of their background. I don't know any of their, move sets. So when I'm in the ring, I don't have that natural instinct, so to say, not yet, as a lot of these, veterans do. I'm 2 years in. Right. I don't have that ability to just know exactly what to do. Whereas these vets, they don't even got to think about what they're doing. They know they're coming out on top. If the dude gets up, he's hitting them with this. He doesn't even think about it.
Now you prefer now you said you're working on your move sets. Have you like tried different things in prior matches, like let's say a year ago or a year and a half ago that you don't use anymore, and now you've got like other things in your arsenal now?
Well, I did bring in that little springboard forearm. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I was thinking about it about a year ago, and it was before the pandemic. I was at training one day, and I was like, it'd be cool if I threw something in there, like catch people off guard with it. And the pandemic hit, and I kind of just pushed it to the side, and I was working on bettering myself, getting in better shape. And then I think it was about 3 months ago, I was watching one of my old matches, and I just sparked it back up and started working on it again, trying to, get precise with the forearm placement coming off the rope. But as for old moves that I don't use anymore,
Yeah.
I can't think of one. I mean, I know the crossbody was always a go-to, and I still use the crossbody every once in a while. But I try not to throw it out as much, just because if people see me do it all the time, they're gonna predict it, and they're gonna get up, turn around, and just duck out the way. Then I'm eating the crossbody.
And I love that. I love hearing that, because you're thinking about it the way I think guys should think about it. And so some guys don't, where they think about it like, what if this was a legitimate athletic contest? What if I'm in here and I'm having a real fight with this guy? If he can watch tape of me and he can see, oh, well, at this point in the match, he'll always do this. So I
Yeah.
just have to wait for that, and then I can counter it, and I can counter him. So I love the idea of not going out there and kind of having a routine and being like, well, this is what I do, and I got to get my shit in, as people say,
Yeah.
and I got to make sure that I hit this, and this. And who cares if it makes sense at that point in the match? I need to hit it. It's like, no, yes, you want to get your best stuff in. Of course you do. But it's got to make sense to the story of the match. And it's got to make sense to not take the audience member out of the immediacy of, this is a contest. This is a competition.
Yeah.
This guy is trying to beat this guy for, either the money, the winner's purse, the title, because they don't like each other, whatever the setup is going in.
I agree. I think it needs to be looked at more as like two guys in there battling it out, rather than, okay, we're going to do this dance, do that, do this, do that. The way I look at it is, you do the same thing every month. Why do people want to keep watching you?
Right.
Absolutely.
Why should I hold somebody's attention if I'm going to do the same things every month, week after week, show after show? Why not throw in something new, or tease something? Don't hit it that month. Hit something again a month, 2 months later. Kind of like I wasn't ready for it. Like you said, the story of the match. I wasn't ready to hit it then. Wait a while. I'm ready to hit it now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is your ultimate goal to get signed and do this for a living?
I mean, that's the dream. If I don't, I'm not going to be upset about it. If I don't get signed, like if I don't get one of those big contracts or whatever, I'll be happy. I'm doing what I love. I'll have a stable job.
Right.
I mean, I won't complain if I don't get signed.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, I'm not going to turn down a contract neither.
Well, I mean, because we talk to different guys, right? And there's guys that are like gung ho. They're building a brand. They are, all right, this is what they want to do. There's no other backup plan. You have a backup plan. You have, a life outside of wrestling. Wrestling is not everything. It's a very important part of your life, but it's not everything. That's what I'm getting out of you. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. You're 100%. See, growing up, I always had big goals, like big aspirations. And my mom always put it into me that, all right, what's your plan B? What's your plan C? If this doesn't work, what are you going to fall back on? She said, you can go chase your dreams, but what do you have to fall back on? So I made sure, I'm going to school right now to be a mechanic. I'm working full time right now as a mechanic. And that's my fallback plan. I'm working 40 plus hours a week, And on the weekends, I'm battling it out. And if I make it, that's great. If I don't, I know I got a family at home. I know I got enough money to, put food on the table. And so either way, I'm happy.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like you're living the American dream to a degree here. The
Oh,
weekends you
100%.
get to pursue your passion for wrestling, and during the week, you're pursuing something else you love to do, and you're getting paid for it in both cases. You putting food in your family's mouth, which is, to me, that's the definition of manhood. Is you got a family, you take care of it. So I mean, you're hitting on all cylinders. It sounds like to me.
I'm still, I wake up a couple hours before work, go to the gym because, bettering yourself, no one's going to do it for you.
Nope.
Right.
And if you want something, you got to put the work in. It's kind of like when I train, throughout the week for wrestling. I'll still go to the gym, 5 o'clock in the morning. After work, I'll train 6 to sometimes 10, 10:30. It depends.
How often do you train? Like, is it weekly, a couple times a week? I'm talking wrestling, not just the weight training or in the gym or anything like that. I'm talking like actual in the ring stuff.
It's about right now. It's about once a week. I'm trying to get more guys to come together, and 2-3 times a week would be nice. That'd be ideal.
Right.
Because the more people we get together, it's the more people we can better and lean on each other for accountability. And if everyone gets better, everyone looks better, the product gets better, the business gets better. It's a win for everybody all around.
Absolutely.
Tell us about the Brick House Club.
Brick House Club. Yeah.
We were actually there the night you joined. We were at that show.
I wrestled Tommy Vex.
He wrestled Tommy Vex, and then Brick House comes out with the T-shirt, and he says, we've been watching you, and we think you'd make a great addition to the club. Was that something that you had any doubts about doing?
No, because it's a great group of guys. Even before I joined the club, all right, Miami, you're gonna have to hold up on that one. But even before I joined the club, Roadblock, he was back there. He was like a mentor. He would watch my matches. He would tell me things I need to fix. He would help me out. Give me advice. And Brickhouse, he's just a nice guy all around.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he is.
And I would talk to him every show, and I'm pretty sure he would watch a couple of my matches too. Tell me what looked good, what looked bad, what I need to fix. And when he came out with the shirt, it was nothing to second guess.
Now, you've only been doing it for about 2 years, so I hesitate to ask you this question, but like in your mind, how do you feel? Like, what do you feel was your best match? Because Keith and I think I've seen you wrestle live 3 times. I think, Keith.
Three times live. Right. I would be 3 or 4 because I've been to one more show than you.
You've been on more show, and to me,
I know Greg was on all of them.
To me, Greg's best match that I saw live was when he took on Merrick Miami. But in your mind, though, Greg, like what was your best match so far in your young career?
That's a hard one because I'm super hard on myself.
Right.
And I'll watch, after the matches get posted, I'll watch them at least like 17 times. And I'll nitpick every little thing, footwork.
Exactly 17 times?
It's damn near close. But like I'll nitpick everything. So like the one I have with Merrick Miami, that was a good match. I feel good about it. Things could have went differently. I could have done different things at different times. I had a triple threat with Merrick Miami,
right,
and Miles Millennium. It was a taping we did. That was a really good one. I enjoyed that one. It's where I did my first stalling suplex. But for best match all around, I would say the one with Merrick Miami.
Yeah.
I think I felt the most confident going into that one.
You guys seem to have a good chemistry.
Yeah.
And that always makes for good. That always makes for a good match. It always makes for a good rival. You guys can play off of each other really well. You guys really have a flow when you're in the ring, and that you seem to both want to do the same thing, which is tell a story. He wants to piss people off because he enjoys doing that. You want to make people happy for kicking his ass, so it kind of works out.
Yeah.
So are
Yeah,
you
it's-
interested now that he has a title? Are you interested in pursuing that?
I mean, that'd be great if I could, get a couple shots at it. Hopefully, I don't need a couple shots to get the title, but
2 out of
I
3
mean,
falls, right? Because that title has to be defended 2 out of 3 falls, right? Or triple threat,
Triple threat, yeah.
triple threat, I think, is the elimination.
right?
But 2 out of 3 falls, I mean, people don't understand. You're in there, and even 5 minutes goes by, and you start feeling the effects of, you're going at it with another man. You're getting tired, you're getting winded, and you still got to go. Like, they can get a pinfall, you can get a pinfall. Well, you basically, at that point, you still have a whole nother match you got to wrestle.
He chimes in. He says, "I don't have time for couple shots. I have bigger plans."
Well, we have heard what some of those bigger plans are.
We did. I mean, I want Greg. I want Greg's opinion on that. What do you think of him calling out Matt Cardona?
I mean,
Ballsy.
it's ballsy.
Mm-hmm.
You see the size of Matt Cardona?
Oh yeah, I gotta give him credit. I gotta give credit where credit's due.
I mean, that'd be a great match to watch.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
Matt Cardona is just a hell of an athlete. I mean,
Yeah,
you see what he does on TV.
He's gotten bigger over the past couple of years.
Right. Well, when he debuted in AEW for that short stint he had,
Yeah,
he was ripped. I mean,
ripped.
when he got released from WWE and he had that hiatus, I think he did that, and he was just working on himself, bettering himself, and he came back chiseled and chip on his shoulder, ready to work.
Tell you what, I watched that video, man. I watched that video of Miami calling him out like over and over and over again. The intensity in his face, like he wants it bad. He wants this match bad. If anything, the win, lose, or draw prove he can hang with a guy like that.
I mean,
that's how I feel.
Just hanging in with a guy like Matt Cardona. That's basically putting you in the spotlight right there.
I hope they make it happen, man. That'd be a great match to have at
that'd be an excellent match
at the 41st anniversary. By the way, if you want to see Greg wrestle, he's wrestling June 19th in York, and he's also wrestling
Saturday coming up.
And he's also wrestling June 26th in Quakertown for WWWA's 41st anniversary outdoor show. That is a free show. You can just show up with chairs and see some local wrestling. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer. Keith and I will be there.
Yeah, I'm going to have a carload of kids.
There you go.
Actually, that's something I wanted to tell you, too, because I feel like this will kind of give you a little bit of a boost there. Is your match with Vex was actually the 2 kids that I always bring, my little guys, that was their first live wrestling match ever. You and Vex helped get them hooked.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
I'm glad I got
something for that.
My whole goal is to go out there, entertain people, make them want to come back, see more, and just hearing that makes me know I'm doing something right.
Yep.
So you enjoy being a face, though? I mean, do you enjoy that? Could you picture yourself being a heel? Because you seem like you're too nice a guy to find that heel inside.
I mean, I could find the heel, but it's just not me. Like unless something changes. Yeah. I mean, I'm just a nice guy all around. Like,
you're giving off that. You definitely give off that like Ricky Steamboat vibe, where it's just like he's just a nice guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. Not everybody has to turn heel in their career or turn if you turn too much.
Yeah, heel turn Harry.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, and you know, your son and some other people too, like it just seems like every time somebody gets in a rut or somebody gets stuck, the idea seems
Yep.
to be, oh well, we just have to change them heel or we have to change them face. And it's like,
Yeah.
maybe they just need a new opponent. Maybe they just need a new direction. Maybe they just need a new goal to
And
go
this
at.
isn't a shoot at anybody, but maybe they need to train more.
It could even
Maybe
be
it's
that.
not how the character is developed. Maybe it's, how their in-ring performance is. Crowd work, that's one of the main things is that's what I'm still working on is, drawing the crowd into the match.
Yeah, so important. If the crowd can't connect with you, I've said this before, and that's another one of those issues that I'm sure drives Alan crazy over in the Facebook chat that kind of spawned this, is that they'll sit there sometimes and it'll be like, this guy is so good, this guy is so good, and then I'm sitting there like, he's good in the ring, but he's kind of leaves me like a cold fish because it doesn't seem like he's trying to bring me into it or he's trying to bring the
Yep.
crowd into it as much. It seems like he's just focused on doing his really pretty moves really effectively, and that's great. And I of course respect anybody that comes in here and puts their body on the line for it. But yeah, you've got to have that extra magic ingredient where it's like, you could just do an arm bar and look at people, and people are like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. And somebody else can go, just do an arm bar. But it's so good. That's the magic, is making the little things seem so incredible. That's what made guys like Hulk Hogan, Hulk Hogan. It didn't
Yeah.
matter what he did. It mattered that he was doing it.
All right. Well, listen, Greg. I've seen Greg wrestle. All right, the inward. He is still working on it, but he's getting better and better and better. What I want to see out of Greg is I want to see that killer like remarkable promo. I haven't seen that from you. I haven't seen you grab a mic yet and get intense and get in somebody's face and be like, you know what I mean? Are you working on that? I'm wondering.
I'm working on that, outside of training, everything, my I guess my speech, my see, I think this is the problem right here. Is I overthink what I'm gonna say. And nobody's given me a reason to throw a promo their way. The only person I can see giving me a reason would be JT Cage.
Well, there you go. That's a great name to bring up.
But,
yeah, because being in the Brick House Club, that's kind of a natural enemy for you. Should he survive that dog collar match with Roadblock, which
With Roadblock, he has
I
an
gotta-
issue
I
with
gotta
the
give him-
entire.
I got to give him credit showing up to that, because if somebody said dog collar match, me and Roadblock, I'd be like, I'm busy that day. And any other day where you want to propose that to me.
yeah, me and Roadblock, friends,
Right.
teammates, I would not want to be chained up with him.
No, that's going to be interesting. I can't wait for that match. But yeah, you guys in the club have an issue with the Hat Guy and his original family. So it seems like, that's always going to be a thing for you guys.
Yeah, it'll be a thing until it's not a thing.
Right.
Whoever comes out on top really is the one ending it. It's like none of them really bother me except JT Cage. Just what he did to Brick House. Like that was out of line. And then he tried to do it to Roadblock.
He did.
And
So we'll see
he
what
couldn't-
Roadblock does to him June 26th.
And I came out with the chair. He ran legs, his tail tucked between his legs, and he said I'm next, and I sat on the rope, opened it up for him. I said, "Come in, then."
Anthony Joseph says, I'm at WWE headquarters. I'll talk to Vince for you. Anthony, it's funny. You guys laugh, but he actually is physically there, Keith. He sent me a picture of him driving past it. Like he literally drove past it today, and he took a picture. He said, look how close I was to WWE headquarters. And I'm like, that's great. You drove past it. Wow. You were in Connecticut today.
Yeah, I've
Yay.
done that. I've done that before too. On my way to Boston a few years ago, we drove past WWE headquarters.
Good for him. All right, Greg. There's a segment we do with all of our guests who are actually professional wrestlers, and that would be if Greg the Mechanic can book himself against anybody, alive or dead or still wrestling or not still wrestling, who would that be and why?
Now, if you asked me this a couple years ago, I would have said Rey Mysterio.
Right.
That was childhood hero right there. But as of like me, 2021, I would say Sammy Guevara.
Ooh.
Yeah, that would be good.
Sammy Guevara. Hear that, Al? My son over there.
It's because, ever since I've seen him, something about him reminded me of me. And I started
He's
watching
got
him.
something, man. He does. He's
Mhm.
got something. That I don't think he's. I don't know if AEW doesn't really know what to do with him, but I think that like when you watch him in the ring, like he's got. You can tell that Jericho and some of the older guys see something in him as he is a rising star, and so they're pushing him. They're pushing whoever's in charge to say, "Look, you got to push this. This guy could be something."
He makes you care about
And
what
he's
he
fun
does.
to watch. I mean,
Yeah,
his matches are fun to watch. So I would love Sammy Guevara versus Greg the Mechanic Manuel. That'd be awesome to me.
I would love that too.
You got to call him out like Miami did Cardona.
Give it a couple years. Let me master everything first.
But no, that's a great dream match. Keith, you got a dream match for Greg?
I do. I was thinking about this earlier, and I'm like, would I do Bret Hart or would I do Lance Storm? Because I think the styles would be so good. And, Bret is Bret, but I'm thinking Lance because Lance was a guy that was very similar to Greg in it's a lot of good technical wrestling, but there's speed there too. Like there's an explosiveness to that offense when it's necessary. So I said, why can't pick? So why don't I just say triple threat take on Lance
with Bret the Hitman Hart and Lance Storm?
Yeah, see how that comes off. And I mean, just imagine how much you could learn with that much experience in the ring. But I think that's one of the great things about it. I think that's one of the great things about it.
That's
Cardona
honesty
comes
right
in
there,
too.
though.
That's great for the whole locker room because that lets you guys talk to someone, get critiques from someone that's been where you want to go. He's been there. He's been to the dance. So that's not just an incredible opportunity for Miami to wrestle him, but I think that would be great for everybody else that's there that night because it gives you somebody who you can pick his brain a little bit. Just would benefit everyone.
Yeah.
That's the thing people don't realize is knowledge is priceless.
Mm-hmm.
If you get 5-10 minutes to sit down with somebody, just pick their brain. You can come out with so much more than you ever anticipated, even wrestling the guy.
Do you find yourself doing that at shows like beforehand, like sitting down talking to some of the older veterans or maybe some of the guys in an SWO, like guys you don't normally see popping through?
I would try to, like, if it's a new face that I haven't seen or talked to before, I'll ask them, like, how they got in the business, any advice for a younger guy getting into the business or, a couple years in, what to do in this scenario, what would be best in this, and, like, kind of get everyone's opinion and take my own feelings and throw it into something. It's kind of how I look at it is I'll pick people's brains to see what they think about certain scenarios, and then I'll sit down and I'll think about it, and I'll kind of mesh them two together.
Have you been working on a finisher of your own? One that maybe somebody has never used before, or do you just have like one that you're like, I want to perfect that?
That Blue Thunder bomb variant I do. Mm-hmm. I really like that. Just because it's different than the traditional Blue Thunder where they pick them up and they spin with them.
Right.
I like mine because it's one fluid motion, and they go through like a line or something. I duck it, I'm right there in that position to be able to get them up, get them down.
And that
And
to
yeah,
me is the mark of a great finish too. You want to be able to hit it from anywhere. You want it to be one smooth, flowing motion, and it needs to be believable that somebody will be finished by it. That this is it.
Yeah, because I mean, even that half spin upside down, you get dizzy.
Yeah.
Even just doing rolls around in the ring, you get dizzy.
I always often wonder how guys who, as you learn and as you train and as you come up with your move set, you kind of like, say, oh, I like that. So you try this and that. And you work with other guys, and as they're trying to do their stuff too, you guys work together. I often wonder how guys land upon how they want to finish matches. Like there's guys that want to end matches with submissions, let's say. So like they like to pick a hold and master that, or maybe master the figure four, or maybe master like a crossface kind of thing. And then there's other guys like yourself who like to do like wow moves, I call them, where you're like when they hit it, it's like wow, and then there's no way he's kicking out of that kind of stuff.
So like, it's hard choosing what you want to do. What I originally wanted to be was a big man, like the Big Show, but
Right.
I mean, as you guys know, I wasn't blessed with those genes.
Human nature
So,
not cooperating.
like I had to compromise. I was like, okay, work with what I have. Speed, agility.
Right.
I can pick people up my size a little bigger. But when it comes to bigger people, I won't be able to hit that Blue Thunder bomb on them. I won't be able to get them up for it.
Right.
So then I don't know if you guys saw my match I had with JT Cage a few months ago. I had an X Factor on him.
Okay.
And that was before I mastered the Blue Thunder. And the X Factor is kind of like I said, I always have a backup plan. That's my backup plan. Whereas if I don't have, if I can't get them up, I'm gonna hit them with the X Factor because I know it can put people out. I know it's effective. And if that don't work, well, then I'll think of something on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Keith, you find it interesting when guys because like he said, he had to like adjust to he can't, if he wanted to be the Big Show, he can't go choke slamming people. You know what I mean? And he can't go knocking guys out. So he's got to adjust that and then be like, take a little bit of Mysterio and mix in a little bit of Daniel Bryan and mix in a little bit of this guy and that guy and kind of come up with his own kind of thing. You know what I mean? I find it interesting how they have to do that.
Oh, I do too. I think it's fascinating how you would come up with a style and decide who you are and how you want to wrestle and all of that. And I mean, I think a lot of it comes down to like you just laid out, I got to look at who I am. I got to look at what nature gave me, and I've got to be able to put it together from that. Sure, I could try to potentially run around choke slamming people and clotheslining them out of their boots and all that stuff, but it's not going to look, again, we go back to realism, back to competition. That's not going to look right. Even on a guy your size, it's not going to look right for you to do it to someone your size, and it's going to look positively goofy if you're trying to do it to somebody that's, Kevin Nash or Big Show size or whatever.
You mean when Hurricane Shane Helms tries to choke slam people, that doesn't look goofy?
Not at all.
Merrick Miami has a question for you. An actual real question. What is one thing that you know that your body will not let you do in wrestling, and how have you come to terms with said thing?
Wow, that's a great question.
That's a really good question. I mean, obviously I can't choke slam people, wouldn't look right. My biggest thing is my original thought for finisher was a suplex into a sit down powerbomb.
Okay.
And where I'm at now, strength wise, I'm just not there. I can get people up for a stalling suplex, that's fine. I can muscle them up, hold them there.
Right.
But just being able to get them up and pop them out for that sit down, is I'm not there yet. Hopefully one day I'll be there, but I adjusted that, and that's when I came up with my Blue Thunder variant to instead of suplex into the sit down,
Right.
I walk from a belly to back into a power bomb instead.
Right. I'd like Merrick Miami to answer that exact same question about himself. Because
yeah, but Miami, he's probably gonna be like, "What are you talking about? There's nothing." I can't
what are you
do."
talking about? There's nothing my body will let me do, right?
You always got to limit
I'm a
somewhere.
perfect machine.
Well, I mean, Merrick Miami is like we saw an evolution of him, right, Keith? When we first went to that outdoor 40th anniversary show, the guy we saw there versus Merrick Miami now. I mean, it's night and day how good he's gotten, and how he's building this brand.
And that's what I love too. Like I say, it's so great to watch guys when they're young in the business and they're figuring it out, and then when they finally do start to put it together, figure out how to kind of, I always say the best gimmick, the best character, whatever you want to call it, it's you with the dial turned up. At base, it's you, but you're finding a way to amplify it and maybe add in some attributes that you want. Maybe you're not that in real life, but here you can be that guy. You can have that, like I say, the volume turned way up. Because
All right,
then you believe it, so the audience believes it.
And with Greg, we're seeing that, right? We're seeing what he was a year ago, what he is now, and where he's heading, and it's fun to watch that, Greg. It's really fun to watch that.
Yeah, a year ago, I mean, I had no confidence really.
Green as hills.
Oh,
yeah. All right, so remember, I asked your boy Merrick Miami that question. He has responded.
This will be good.
I've come to terms with not being able to be back. It's really sad that I'm this good.
Oh my God, he's such a dick. I love him.
That's his answer right there. Your thoughts on that answer there, Mechanic?
I mean, he's not bad. I mean, he got the better of me we faced.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great athlete. I mean, I can't dispute that comment.
He's got, I mean, every opportunity he's gotten lately, he's just lobbed him like a fat fastball over the plate. He has just home run after home run after home run. But like I tried to caution him on the show, the thing about coming out of the blocks and being the rookie of the year and all that, if you start believing your own hype and you start believing your own press, pride goeth before a fall. You gotta keep that in mind too. One thing is climbing up the mountain and standing at the summit, but if you're not careful, it can be a long, bumpy road down.
And even with that, once you get to the top, you can't be complacent with being at the top.
No.
Because there's always somebody right below you ready to pull your leg and drag you to the bottom.
And he's been a fighting champion. I mean, every show he's putting the title on the line. You got to give him that. But, yeah, I mean, it feels to me like with each win, each big win, he's getting a little cockier. And, man, that I think opens you up to start making mistakes and all it's going to take. And, sure, it's 2 out of 3 falls usually. And, sure, it's elimination triple threat, but still, that one mistake.
Yep.
6 seconds. 6 seconds if it's 2 out of 3 falls. Only 3 seconds if it's a triple threat. And it can all change right then and there.
Can you imagine if he gets in the ring with Matt Cardona and, I mean, I'm not going to say beats him, but at the very least draws with him or something?
I mean, like I said earlier, that'd be great for him.
I'm only saying that because we'll never hear the end of that, Keith.
Oh, no. There'll be no living with him after that.
it'd be great for him, though. I mean,
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
the publicity and everything, just being able to hang with him.
Again, there's a double-edged sword here. You got to understand something about me. I've been a wrestling fan for over 40 years. Okay, I have always rooted for the heels. That's why I love Merrick. I'm the guy that roots for the bad guy in movies. Right? I was the guy that was rooting for everybody to beat Hogan, but nobody could. And then we get they had the Macho Man. My favorite guy of all time was Macho Man Randy Savage, and he couldn't beat him either. And it was just getting annoying. You know what I mean? That's why,
Yeah.
like, for like, I'm gonna piss Keith off by saying this, but for a split second when Goldberg beat Hogan at Georgia Dome, to cap off that undefeated streak with the WCW title, I was a Goldberg fan for a minute because he finally beat Hulk Hogan. Okay,
well,
so then,
it was the right thing to do at that point.
but the thing was, Hogan was the heel. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like screwy, but whatever. I'm just saying that I always root for the heels. That's why I should say I love to hate Merrick Miami. But like Keith said, coming out of the block, rookie of the year, all that stuff, he's just got to keep it going. But I think that you are in a great place. You love doing this. You love this business. You have passion for this business. And Keith and I wish you nothing but the best in everything you want out of this business, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I love your attitude as far as, if you ever got a shot, if you ever got somebody saw a match of yours or something on YouTube or whatever, and they're like, hey, why don't you come down to Florida and come to the Performance Center and have a tryout or something, you'd be there, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But in the meantime, man, you're just having fun and you love doing it. You love doing it. You love playing to the crowd. You love getting them jazzed up.
I mean, there's nothing better than that feeling when you pop through the curtain and you just feel the pop. Everyone's
It's a drug.
screaming. It is, and I mean, you can't just walk away from it. Especially like last Saturday, the last Saturday show we had at WWWA. I came through the curtain during that triple threat, and I mean the crowd exploded, and that was just the best feeling. That was the biggest pop I've got from a crowd since I started wrestling. And after that, I was just like, "Yep, this is why I do it. Can't walk away from it."
I mean, you're getting over with them, especially the Triple WA fans. You're getting over with them. I mean, I don't think it has so much to do with joining the Brickhouse Club. That's part of it.
Oh, yeah.
But the other part of it is that they enjoy watching you wrestle, win, lose, or draw.
I'm glad to hear that.
Your boy Merrick Miami is still talking. Matt Cardona is the reason I do this, so of course I will beat him. They call that the passing of the torch, right, Keith?
They do indeed, but we'll see if he's ready to give it up.
That's I was just about to say that. It's a passing of the torch, but whoever holds the torch has to be willing to pass it.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear. I want to see. I want to see a title shot once Miami's done with his infatuation with Cardona, or if that match actually exists and happens. On the other side of that, I want to see a future title defense, triple or 2 out of 3 falls, 1-on-1. I want to see Greg the Mechanic Manuel and Merrick Miami for the title. 2 out of 3 falls in Quakertown. What do you think, Keith?
Yeah, I think I would definitely like to see the rematch on that because, I mean, Alan's right. You get better every time you're out there. And that's an audience that I think really appreciates hard work and it appreciates the guys that are out there, month in and month out doing the shows. And that's the only way you're ever going to, develop. That's the only way anybody develops is to just keep going out there, and you get a little better each time. And I mean, it's not like Miami ate you up. I think, as I recall, he screwed you on that second fall. He cheated a little bit to get past you there.
You
That
realize
was the
he's
first
watching,
fall.
right?
Oh yeah, that's right. It was the first fall. So I mean,
Yeah, after I
there
watched
you
it back,
go.
I saw him holding the ropes.
Right. Yep. I remember that. He was. Yep. Feet were on the ropes. Ref didn't see it.
I love it. Merrick Miami
I'm
is
sure
gonna
you,
have the
I'm sure you
professor
can
is
hear
gonna
me.
have Keith. Keith,
I'm sure you can hear me screaming on the video playback at the referee about that, because that stuff drives me
I
nuts.
can hear you say it. Yes, but you realize you're genuine heat, generating heat between yourself and Merrick Miami at this very moment, right?
Well,
I'm just
things
saying.
happen. Yeah.
Anyway, Greg, we wish you nothing but the best, my brother. We will see you on June 26th at the 41st anniversary WWWA down in Quakertown outdoor show outside of Qmart. If you're watching this right now, go check it out. It is a free outdoor show. Bring your chairs, bring the family, have a good time. It's great local wrestling. Support your locals. It's great local wrestling. And maybe you'll fall in love with all these guys like we have. And then you'll go down to more shows when they have more shows, usually about monthly or so at the Q Mart in Quakertown. Also check them out if you're in the York area. Check them out on the 19th in York for SWO. And Greg,
You're not in the New York area, and you can just get there. Get there.
absolutely. And Greg,
Seven Valleys Fire Company.
before we get you out of here, man, is there anything you'd like to ask us, or anything else that we missed that you might want to promote, or anything like that?
I mean, I don't want to be, cliche and be like, oh, pro wrestling tees, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the person, trying to push shirts. I mean, at shows,
Well,
I
if we
do.
want a Greg the Mechanic manual, are they available on ProWrestlingTees.com?
Yeah, they are.
Okay. See, that wasn't you pushing it. That's me asking you a question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? What else? Anything else you want to ask us?
I think you guys covered it all, really. You got my background, how I got into wrestling, what made me fall in love with it. I just wanted to say, between SWO and WWA, it's all a great group of guys and women, and I wouldn't trade anything for the world. Those locker rooms have brought me in, treated me well. I'm just glad to be able to do this on the weekends and still be able to have a job during the week.
Awesome, man. We wish you nothing but the best. Can't wait to see you again live June 26th. Keith and I will be there at the outdoor show. Scrolling along the bottom of the screen there for all you wrestling fans out there, July 24th, if you haven't heard, where have you been? The Legends of Hamburg Professional Wrestling Fan Fest. It's a fan fest for wrestling fans everywhere out here in Pennsylvania. Go to www.legendsofhamburg.com for tickets and information. The list is a mile long of Keith of legends that will be there, including Cowboy Bob Orton and Tito Santana and guys from ECW, Sandman, Sabu, Todd Gordon. Yeah. The Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, Tito Santana. It just goes on and on and on. Missy Hyatt. So, I mean, if you love professional wrestling and you're in the Pennsylvania area, Hamburg is not too far away from anywhere in PA. Go to www.legendsofwrestling.com and get your tickets and information. Also, there is a live wrestling event after that. And Keith and I will have a table at that event from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come see us and check us out and get our merchandise. Meanwhile, Greg the Mechanic Manual, man, thanks for coming on Around the Turnbuckle.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
pleasure.
Absolute. What? Keith, go ahead.
Pleasure. An absolute pleasure. That hour flew by.
Flew by, man.
It did.
It did. It always does. I tell guys that, but they don't believe me until they actually do it. So, Greg, we're going to let you out of here. But, man, thanks for coming on. And we wish you nothing but the best and can't wait to see you wrestle in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Absolutely, my brother. And you guys can catch me and Keith next weekend on Around the Turnbuckle we might do a show Saturday. I'm not sure yet, but we're definitely going to be on Sunday with our next guest.
Yeah, I think we had a topic for Saturday. So
We do have a topic for Saturday. We're going to talk about the Dynamite Kid. We're going to talk. And Greg, if you have not seen those Dark Side of the Rings yet, check out the new season with the Dynamite Kid. Crazy stuff that guy was. I mean, a lot. It's a lot to take in, but man, it's a cautionary tale. If anything, it's very interesting, very popular show, Dark Side of the Ring with Dynamite Kid. We're going to talk about that this Saturday, and then next Sunday we'll have another guest here on Around the Turnbuckle. Keith, any parting words, sir?
I think we mostly covered it. You know, it was really nice talking to Greg. Absolutely. And like you say, it's going to be so much fun to continue to watch him develop. You know, because a lot of times you watch somebody that's polished in WWE, and maybe you go back and you watch their early stuff. It's really cool to be in on the ground floor with somebody and watching them put it together and watching them chase the dream. You know. It's so much fun when I see somebody's won a title or something like that. That's happened a couple of times now where I get to just run over to Messenger and be like, oh my God, you won the title. It's so awesome. And share that with them. So, I mean, and I know that's going to happen for Greg too. I know.
Like even Cage, right? I mean, even Cage winning his title, we didn't like the way it came about, but we were happy. We were happy for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we didn't like the way it happened, but we were happy for him. So we are really interested in seeing that dog collar match with your boy Roadblock. So it's going to be cool.
That would be a great match. Yeah,
it will be. All right, we're out of here, guys. Thank you very much, Greg the Mechanic Manual. Thank you very much, Professor Keith. Thank you guys all for watching Around the Turnbuckle. We'll see you next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, watch it. Brother. Oh, yeah. Woo! What? If you smell what the Rock